Every game needs characters, something you look at and instantly feel a connection to. I had 24 of them in my head. I knew exactly what they looked like, how they moved, and what they felt like. The problem was I couldn't draw any of them, so I did the only thing I could do. I hired someone who could, and what came back blew me away. Guardian's Quest is built around its creatures. They're called Guardians, and there are 24 of them across 6 different types: water, fire, plant, electric, rock, and neutral. The game works, the mechanics are there, but staring at a placeholder art every time I tested the game, it just didn't feel like the game I was building. The soul was missing. And look, I have a lot of skills. Drawing is not one of them. I tried, trust me. What I produced looked like it belonged in the police report and not in the game. So I made a decision that changed the entire project. I went looking for an artist. The process started simple. I wrote descriptions, detailed ones, what each guardian looked in my head, and what elements they represented, what feeling they should give off. A little crab with a golden shell that sparkles like it's carrying the night sky on its back. A fire salamander with a playful grin and a flame on its tail. A flower creature, delicate and expressive with petals for a crown. I sent these descriptions to the artist, and then came the sketches. This was the moment it got real, because suddenly these creatures that had only existed in my head were staring back at me from the screen, rough, unfinished, but alive. The sketches were the foundation. From here we went back and forth, small adjustments, refining shapes, getting the personality right, and then came the final art. Alright, I want to show you 6 of them, one of each type, but the first 3 are special, because in Guardian's Quest, this is where your journey begins. When you start the game, you choose one of 3 started guardians: water, fire, or plant. Your first companion, the one that sets the tone for everything that comes after. So, let me introduce them. The water starter is Shellby. Here's the sketch, and here's what the artist turned it into. A small crab with a golden shell covered in stars. Big, warm eyes, tiny claws raised like she's ready for anything. She looks tough and adorable at the same time. And that was exactly the goal. Look at that shell. The fire starter is Embark, a fire salamander, playful, energetic, always looks like he's about to get into trouble. That flame on its tail, it was one of the first details I described it. And see it in the final art with that tongue sticking out and those big curious eyes. This is one that is going to make people smile. And the plant starter is Petalyn. I wanted the plant guardians to feel organic and alive, not just green animals. Petalyn is literally a flower with a face. She's delicate, expressive, and her design is completely different from anything else in the roster. That contrast is intentional. She's the one that will surprise people. 3 starters, 3 completely different personalities. This is the first choice you make in Guardian's Quest, and it's supposed to be a hard one. But the starters are just the beginning. The world of Guardian's Quest has a lot more to offer. Let me show you 3 more, and from each of the remaining types. In the electric type, we have Sparkite, a tiny mouse with a lightning bolt tail and eyes that are glowing. There's something about this design that just works. She looks like she's zap you and then look at you like nothing happened. Rock type, Pebblor. I love this one. He's basically a stone frog with a little moss on his head. The artist nailed the texture, the weight, the cracks in the stone. He looks ancient and adorable at the same time, like a rock that's been sitting in the garden for centuries and just decided to open its eyes. And finally, neutral type. This is Normling. Normling is a blob. A purple, squishy, big-eyed blob. And that's exactly the point. The neutral type represents the basics. No element, no flashy powers, just pure, simple guardian energy. And honestly, I think people are going to love this one. These 6, they're just the beginning. Guardian's Quest has 24 guardians in total so far, with 4 in each type. And every single one has been designed with the same process. Description, sketch, final art, front and back. I'm not going to show all of them today, but we'll tell you this. Some of them are going to surprise you. The art is done. Now it's time to put them in the game. If you want to see the rest of the Guardians before anyone else, the Patreon is where that happens. Supporters get exclusive looks at the full roster, early access to builds, and a say in how these characters end up in the game. Subscribe if you want to follow the journey. This is Unnin Games. Let's build.